Hi, and welcome back to Ivy English. I'm Karen.
And I'm Chris Gorski.
Today is April 17th, and we're on page 49 in your magazines. And today we're going to hear part 2 of the fascinating article that we started yesterday entitled...
Now listen, the colorful history of headphones.
I love your intonation on that. It sounds like a mother yelling at her teenage daughter. Now listen, young lady, you're not going out like that. You put on a sweater or something like that.
I've definitely used this in my own classroom, not to shout at children, but to really draw attention to the main point. So we've constructed the argument, and now what is the result? And so now listen, and we're setting the tone here. Everyone's going to, at this point, I will actually start speaking more softly because I'm usually quite loud. So to flip the script, when I'm getting to the important point, now listen, pause,
and
then slow down and say it slowly. And everyone leans in and they get some grammar knowledge.
That's exactly the way to do it because, first of all, the pause is important so we're ready. We have now focused our attention. And number 2, because what you're saying is going to have a lot of new information in it and important information, our brain cannot absorb it as fast. So you need to slow it down. And by lowering your voice, that really gets their attention because usually you're kind of partying around with them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I tend to be very loud and trying to really make English as enjoyable as possible for them. They're in a tough program and they learn a lot of tough stuff. So I think that by flipping that script once in a while, slowing down and being really quiet will really draw your listeners' attention. But you got to use it carefully.
All right, so again, our title, Now Listen, the Colorful History of Headphones. We talked about the early history of headphones yesterday. We're going to continue with it today. We are now entering the 20th century. Thanks to the 20th century breakthroughs in portable music playing devices, there are now lightweight headphones that are easy to carry around. People are now commonly seen walking while listening to music using headphones, which come in various designs to meet people's different needs.
The term headphones generally refers to a device that allows a single user to listen to an audio source privately. Specifically, headphones are a pair of small loudspeakers worn around the head over the ears. Modern headphones have soft ear pads covering the loudspeakers, which not only provide comfort, but also increase audio quality. These pads also help block out noises from outside and keep sounds produced by the headphones from being heard by others.
As audio systems became smaller, so did headphones. Some people now prefer tiny speakers called earphones. Inserted into the ear canal, earphones come with cushions and provide a more direct connection to the sound being played. A similar device called earbuds differs from earphones in that it lacks cushions. Lightweight and portable, earbuds, both wired and wireless, and earphones are most suitable for those who can't live without music. However, they may be uncomfortable to wear for long periods of time.
Headphones with different functions have also appeared. One example is headsets equipped with microphones that can be moved at will. Headsets are ideal for conducting online meetings and playing online games. Cutting-edge devices like bone conduction headphones, which send sound waves through a wearer's skull without covering the ears, have also amazed people. As audio technology continues to advance, it's anyone's guess how future generations will enjoy their music.
And I'm sure that all of the big companies and smaller ones too are going to keep working on coming up with something really crazy and new that we're going to want to buy. Okay, back to the beginning. Thanks to the 20th century breakthroughs in portable music playing devices, there are now lightweight headphones that are easy to carry around. Now, this is not really new. So I grew up in the 60s, and back then people had transistor radios with really tinny sound. Tinny means it had like a lot of high frequencies and noise. It was kind of buzzy. And
no bass.
Yeah, it didn't have much bass. And actually, earphones were popular then already. And fortunately, that was one way of not making everybody listen to the music that you like. So we actually had those back then, and transistor radios were small. So this whole thing is not really that new. It's just that we've changed some things. You did need to have radio waves to get music. It wasn't playing from a cassette or from a CD or from an MP3 file.
Do you remember how much those transistor radios cost? I don't actually know this.
They were cheap.
They were cheap.
Yeah.
I know the Sony Walkman came out in 1979, and that cost $150. That was a lot of money, but man, that was a big hit.
That's okay. So when it was new, they were expensive, but slowly they got less expensive as other people were making similar devices and competing. But transistor radios in the 60s already were very cheap. I would say, well, back in the time, maybe $19. Now, $19 was worth more back then, but $19 still was not very expensive for an electronic device. And they did have really fancy ones with leather cases, but still not that expensive, maybe $36.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting little tidbit, too, because actually at the top of my paper, I was just thinking of the history of kind of portable music playing devices. I actually started with the Walkman. I did not even think of transistor radio.
Because you weren't living then. You weren't born then.
Well, I mean, I was thinking of what came before, and transistor radio just never picked up on me. I was like, yeah, I just went right to Sony Walkman. To me, that was like the dawn of personal audio equipment, and it's just an oversight that I wasn't thinking about this. But when you started talking about it, I instantly visualized. We could see them in pictures. I was like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Thinking of photos of people with their transistor radios.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or they put it in their pocket.
Yeah.
And you'd have an image of, this is from the late 50s, we had beatniks.
Yeah.
You know, with these kind of, hair that was kind of unkempt and wearing a sloppy sweatshirt with holes in it. Not that things are so different now. And then they'd be walking along and kind of rocking and snapping their fingers, listening to music on their transistor radio. And that was sort of our idea of cool.
Awesome. I love the beatnik side, the side story here.
Yeah, the beatniks that actually were still around at the very, very beginning of my era. So this is nothing new. It's just that the ways that we deliver sound and the sources of sound are a bit different, but actually it's been around a long time. Okay, our second sentence. People are now commonly seen walking while listening to music using headphones, which come in various designs to meet people's different needs. And as I have just said, that was common in the 60s.
Yeah, so I still use wired headphones for a number of reasons that we'll get to later. I'm sure we both have very strong opinions on this. But I did take a look around because I knew this article was coming, and I tried to count the amount of people that used wired headphones, and I realized I am in the tiny minority here.
Me too.
Everybody's using wireless headphones, and I actually have 2 pair of wireless headphones that I got gifted to me. Mm-hmm. And I do use them at home because they're easier while I'm doing housework.
Yeah.
And my wife can talk to me while I'm doing housework. So she can still communicate with me. If I have my noise-canceling headphones, she has to walk up to me and tap me. And that's not fair to her.
Yeah.
So I don't wear them at home. But I was thinking, like, does anybody still use wired headphones except for, like, us?
I do.
We're the last 2 people.
Okay, and I can describe how I ended up using wired headphones because I originally was using wireless. Mine were also gifted to me by a dear family member, and I enjoyed them for a while. But there are 2 big reasons why I stopped using them. Number 1 is the battery died, and you cannot get the batteries replaced. You have to buy new headphones. I thought, I'm not going to buy another pair of headphones if the battery is going to die and you can't replace it. That was the most important reason. Another reason is because I used them in an interview. Somebody interviewed me online and I used my wireless earphones. The sound quality was poor and eventually the battery ran out and I had to switch to wired headphones, after which the sound was great.
I have people tried to argue with me that wireless headphones sound just as good as wired headphones. No. And I am telling you with certainty, like I know who I am, like what my name is, that they are not the same. No. There are more components. There's more. You need to transfer the audio files into Bluetooth, then send to your phone, then retransition. It does not work the same. You have wires and magnets, and that is very direct. It's mechanical, and it just produces clearer, better sound. It just is. Maybe in the future, but not today.
Wireless headphones are more vulnerable to breaking down, and sometimes there is a sound lag, and sometimes it just loses the signal. A lot of that happened, so there are a lot of reasons why I gave them up. So what you said about them being more convenient at home, I agree. Yeah. So how did I solve it? I have another hiking belt at home, and I put my iPhone in the hiking belt, use wired earphones, and then I just go around and do my stuff that way. I can do my exercise that way, and it works fine.
Yeah. If I'm out and about and I have my wired headphones on and I need to talk to someone, I'm at the store, whatever, take my earbud out, I hang it over my ear, have my conversation, put it back in. With wireless headphones, you have to take it out and hold it in your hand. Like, I don't know what it is about that, but that is like way more irritating to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, if you enjoy your wireless headphones,
fine.
I am 100% in support of you enjoying them.
So paragraph 2.
The term headphones generally refers to a device that allows a single user to listen to an audio source privately.
So like I said, that has been around a long time.
If you've ever heard the phrase cans in radio and recording, oftentimes your headphones are referred to as cans. Because the things on your ears here. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
This is a big point with like American DJs.
Okay.
Yeah, they like to call them cans.
I learned so much here. I learned so much English here.
So yeah, this also made me think of listening privately initially was a little bit like, ooh, what are you listening to? This is not unlike when people first began reading silently. In the past, books were very expensive, and there was an oral tradition behind reading. When you were reading, you read to others. Libraries were not silent places. Libraries were almost like theaters where people would hear books read. And there was no punctuation. There were no spaces in words. So you needed to have the story read to you so that you could hear it and know how it should be read, and then you will carry on the oral tradition. So when people began reading silently, they were wondering, what are the thoughts in your head? And that was similar to what happened with the first wired headphones as well.
That's a good comparison. And in the early years, I think it was in the 19th century, actually, wasn't it that late that we started reading silently? Because before then, they would describe that, when he reads, he doesn't make any sound, which meant it was very unusual. That means that to read, it takes a lot more energy, because if you're reading out loud, that really takes energy.
Well, there were people in antiquity that could read silently. They were noted for this.
Yeah.
But they were also almost like famous for having this mystical power of reading silently. It was a very unusual thing.
They were the exceptions.
Let's continue. Specifically, headphones are a pair of small loudspeakers worn around the head over the ears. Like, you know what these are. Like, you put them on your head, like computer headphones. Modern headphones have soft ear pads covering the loudspeakers, which not only provide comfort, but also increase audio quality.
And they'll explain in the next sentence why they increase audio quality. They may provide comfort if they fit well, but I have worn earphones or headphones with pads that were extremely uncomfortable. So it is not necessarily the case. You have to get the right ones.
Yeah, I think so too. And the pads, they always kind of break down.
Yeah.
They start peeling. Or when I was a teenager, I didn't have a lot of money. I would wear my headphones until they were falling apart. The pads would turn orange, which I guess is a reaction to the oil in your skin, which always made me feel really bad.
And it usually had a plastic coating on it, and that would break down and flake, and you'd have this black powder and black flakes all over the place. Yeah, yuck.
Let's continue on to our next sentence. These pads also help block out noises from outside and keep sounds produced by the headphones from being heard by others.
Now, that's an extremely important point, and I'm really glad they have that function. So you do not want others being disturbed by your listening, and also if it's kind of cupped over your ear, you can hear the sounds better yourself. Less sound is going out.
When I was a teenager, I did not realize how much sound bled from headphones because I was the only person in my family that enjoyed using them. I was not aware of how much sound would bleed out, and I would listen to music, noisy music, very loudly. And only after I started getting looks from other people like, come on, man. Like, I felt really self-conscious about it. And I feel bad thinking about it today. I know those people aren't judging me anymore, but it did make me feel very self-conscious when I realized some of the music was bleeding out to others and kind of bothering them.
Next paragraph. As audio systems became smaller, so did headphones.
Although it is cool to have like big, like kind of headphones like that we're wearing, the cans, the big ones with the ears, they're wireless, they're stylized. Beats by Dre are famously big and chunky. We want you to see them. It's a stylistic choice.
I've never enjoyed those. They're just too big and heavy, too obvious. Okay, some people now prefer tiny speakers called earphones. And I'm definitely one of those because I've just described to you how I use them myself in the morning when I'm exercising. Actually, I don't listen to music either. I listen to the French news. That's my morning French listening practice that I do while I'm exercising. And you definitely do not want things flopping around your head when you're exercising.
Yeah, earphones are the ones that go into your ear, which we'll see in our next sentence.
Inserted into the ear canal, earphones come with cushions and provide a more direct connection to the sound being played. And yes, I find that. So if they fit into your ear canal pretty well, and mine happen to do so, then you can hear what is being played pretty well. And that's important to me because I'm listening to a foreign language that I'm not that good at yet. I need to hear it clearly.
I feel these are the best for your audio quality, too.
Yes,
For me, this is the way, because it's going directly into your ear. There's less bleed, there's less noise. For me, the sound quality is purest here.
Exactly. A similar device called earbuds differs from earphones in that it lacks cushions. Earphones have cushions and earbuds don't. And what I call earbuds don't have cushions. I think we can leave it at that and move on.
I like that I can wash the cushions.
Yeah, that's
There
great.
you go, great.
So whatever it is, earbuds, earphones, not a big difference. Let's move on. Lightweight and portable, earbuds, both wired and wireless, and earphones are most suitable for those who can't live without music.
I agree.
You're one of those people who can't live without music?
Yeah. I am just a person that loves music of many genres, many varieties, from many eras, and I couldn't live without it.
That's interesting because I have a house full of musical instruments, hundreds of them. But I'm a person who can live fine without music. I would rather have silence so I can work and concentrate and not be distracted. Because if it's music I don't like, I definitely want silence. If it's corny, bland music, no. If it's really loud music, no. It has to be very, very specific to me that I like. And then I'm going to sit down and listen to it. I'm not going to work. So I'm one of those people who has to have a small amount of quality music and otherwise silence.
That's funny. Music for me sets my mental tone for the day.
I can totally understand that. I totally get that. And if it's the right music, it does the same for me. But it's so hard to find the right music. All right. However, they may be uncomfortable to wear for long periods of time. I can wear them for quite a while and I'm fine, but it definitely doesn't work in bed.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I do agree that the in-ear earphones or earbuds can be uncomfortable for some people. It took me a while to get used to them totally.
Okay, let's move on to the last paragraph.
Headphones with different functions have also appeared. Okay. One example is headsets equipped with microphones that can be moved at will. So they kind of move up and down if you don't need to talk. They don't distract your peripheral outside vision.
This actually was something I could not understand in the early days of audio technology because I would have boom boxes and then
the 4D cell batteries and
whatever. I didn't usually use batteries. I plugged it in. But the earphones that you could get for it never had a microphone. And I said, I want to record. And it couldn't be done. It was just a problem because a lot of, the main reason I had it there was so I could record things for my teaching or whatever. And it was just so hard to find earphones with an actual microphone. And now it's usually standard equipment. Okay? Headsets are ideal for conducting online meetings and playing online games. And for me, I sometimes get interviewed online, and headsets are really good for those. How about for online games?
I agree. You need to be able to make call-outs to say where we need to go, what's happening. And if you have a lot of audio lag or it's muddy or unclear, that hampers your ability to fight a really skilled team. Top-performing players need good audio communication skills.
Right, and reaction time is everything in game playing.
All right, let's take a look at our next sentence here. Cutting-edge devices like bone conduction headphones, which send sound waves through a wearer's skull without covering the ears, have also amazed people. They're cool. I am not sold on them.
I'm not either, but from an audio point of view, they're very interesting because sound travels better through solids than it does through the air.
Yeah, maybe this technology will improve over time. As audio technology continues to advance, it's anyone's guess how future generations will enjoy their music.
So this doesn't give us a lot of information. The purpose of this sentence is really to wrap up the article. Let's go to our questions. Number 1, which of the following is not true about headphones design?
And our answer here is D. Baldwin's design looked like a medical instrument that doctors use today, which we called the stethoscope.
That's right. It's just another word for stethoscope. Number 2.
According to the Day 1 passage, who made headphones more comfortable on the ears?
And the answer is C. Eugen Bayer.
Number 3.
Steve wants to buy a device that allows him to listen and speak at the same time, reduces outside noises, and is comfortable to wear. Which of the following suits his needs? And you'll see 4 pictures here, and the answer is B. These are cans. These are the larger earphones with a microphone in front, and that is the answer. Number 4.
Which of the following statements is true regarding the devices mentioned in the passages?
And the answer is A. Earbuds are lighter than the electrophone system. Now, that's the end of our lesson. That's it for today. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.